Theme. Perfect. And I'm not going to ask you to say or spell your name because we know who you are. We know.
I'm going to show my mom's picture. There. And my girls. Whoops.
There you go.
There's glare.
Very well. Okay, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Today is the reopening of our county, of our state, of our county, of our San Diego city, but also the city of Chula Vista. What does that mean for everybody who lives in Chula Vista or goes to Chula Vista?
Well, it's great and happy news, and we have all looked forward to it, especially since Chula Vista, being hard hit by COVID, was one of the first cities to order shutdowns, right, and mandate mask wearals. So we're all so happy that things are finally opened up, and there's so many celebrations going on within our community.
And what is that? Yeah, I mean, most of us saw that, there was a big kind of grand opening with Nathan Fletcher over at the county administration building. Is the city, are you planning anything special? Is there anything going on for Chula Vista?
There are a lot of things. So I think the most exciting thing is, though, that the Padres, in conjunction with Ground Floor Murals, is completing a beautiful Padre murals of one of my favorite players, Manny Machado, on the north wall of our Vogue's Theater. So at 5 o'clock, there's going to be a party to unveil that. And then all down 3rd Avenue and Broadway, different businesses are planning different activities, to welcome people back into their midst without the mask. Still mindful that we have to be careful.
And you did mention Chula Vista was one of the hardest hit cities in many ways, not just with people getting COVID, but also the businesses. Our businesses were shuttered, and some people lost their businesses altogether. Some were able to get help. This is a great day for some of those businesses that survived, right?
Yes, it is. But that doesn't mean that we're not trying to help other businesses that were just on the margin, trying to get back on their feet and get thriving again.
Yes. And one of the things that has happened that we're seeing in all parts of the country, the state, and even here in our county, is that the businesses are reopening, and some of them have been able to kind of reopen with certain capacities, some of the restaurants and different things, stores, but they're having a hard time finding workers or getting their workers to come back. What do you say about that?
Sure, and there's a number of factors that are involved in that. And that is that most of the workers that were without jobs and lost their means of employment were in the lower sector service jobs, in the restaurants, in childcare, in different healthcare industries, not the ones that were directly involved with the COVID, but others. And so those low wage jobs, the people that worked in them really suffered. And so right now there's a scramble to get those people back and employed. But you know what? There's still some barriers to that. It's not that they're getting a big fat paycheck from the government, but in many cases, it's because we've lost a number of our childcare workers. And so, childcare centers are finding it extremely difficult to recruit childcare workers. And part of that is because some of those very own childcare workers are having those challenges themselves of trying to find someone to take care of their children while they're at work. So it's all kinds of different factors that are leading to a workplace shortage. One of the things, though, that we have to consider is that for many, many years, wages were flat and they were not keeping up with the pace of the cost of living here in San Diego County by any means. And that while, everything else got more expensive, the cost of housing, the cost of transportation, wages did not go up. And so what we're finding is a real big correction. And we're seeing now that many companies are competing for workers and actually having to raise wages, as they should, to make sure that workers are guaranteed a livable wage, something that they're not working 2 or 3 jobs and remaining in poverty.
So although, I mean, we've said it before, and I think I maybe have, talked to you before, and I've said it to others, COVID was horrible on many levels. But what if there was a bright side, if there could be, was exactly that it highlighted some of our gaps and some of our things that had not stayed up to speed or were broken down. We kind of talked about schools and we've talked about other things, but obviously, as you said, with the wages, that also was highlighted. And so if we can find anything positive, maybe kind of that was something we could say was brought up and is now being addressed.
Well, that wasn't the only thing. The other thing was how creative people were in finding alternative incomes and starting their own businesses and thinking out of the box and really being forced to look at what else can I use my skills and my talents for. And so that created a number of opportunities for people to start their own businesses. And we saw a lot of that. We saw restaurants adapting to the environment and shifting the way that they did things that helped them get through the pandemic. And certainly we even saw that here in the city, where we had to close down our recreation centers and our libraries. And instead of laying off our people, we shifted them to other COVID-related jobs. And we found smarter ways to work. I think we can all say that we found smarter ways to work. And at least from the city perspective, we didn't lose productivity. We never stopped working and fulfilling the needs to provide good services to our community.
And that is true. And that is a great point. It did kind of, some of us, it honed our technical skills, and, for teachers, like just like business owners, it made them become more creative in different ways of reaching out to their students or keeping their students as focused and involved as they could be, as well as businesses. And sure, that did happen. And we do know that a lot of new businesses sprung up from our city, or the city here in Chula Vista. So we know that was a good thing. And maybe some of those people have it's a better deal for them than to go back to whatever possible low paying job they had before the pandemic.
Right. And, it just taught everyone that they had to adapt to this environment, that it pushed a lot of people back to school to learn new skills. Certainly in my own case, I really had to upgrade my technology skills, and that's a good thing. So, there was a lot of downside to it. We certainly missed that level of closeness with our community and our people, but we're back and we're smarter, we're stronger, and we got through this. And I think it's going to be brighter days ahead.
And that's great. And you said, yes, we knew about the mural that had been being worked on over there in downtown Chula Vista. And you said that there's going to be like a little celebration tonight over there. And
yes.
Is everybody invited?
Well, whoever's around, right? It's not that it's been, I think that it's not that it's been publicized a lot, but another thing that happened in the COVID crisis that was really, really positive is the young man that founded Ground Floor Murals actually developed his skills in creating murals because of the pandemic. And so just think, he started this beautiful little company that now is in great demand for his murals. And he's Chula Vista born and raised, went to schools here, and so did his partners as well. And so we're really proud of them and the attention that they've brought to the city of Chula Vista, but not only that, for launching this incredible company that highlights the beauty and the positivity of art.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. And I think that's a good place